What's up? It's KennyRoy with another reel review. Today is a shot review, or more specifically, a cycle from Pranabananda. I trust I pronounced that perfectly. If I didn't, which is almost certain, I apologize. I give it my best shot, and then obviously just wait for the very carefully worded DM that says that no one has ever pronounced the name worse than I have. So that's what I'm expecting right now. But anyway, if you'll bear with me, Prana, that'll be my nickname for you. Prana, we will dive into this. If you would like to see your shot or your reel reviewed, just send it to me. Go on Twitter /KennyRoy. It's that easy. Just send me a DM or retweet one of these videos, and I'll take a look. All right, I enjoy doing it. It's been fun to get back into a little bit of this stuff. I've been on hiatus, and now it's good to be back. So let me take a quick look at this. We have a flying cycle, and this is very near and dear to my heart. I am somewhat of I'm a bird lover, and did most of my career actually was creature animation. So let's dive right in, eh? So first of all, I will say this, Prana, please, for the love of God, have a movie file that has your cycle at least like 5 or 6 times through, so that a tool like Frankie, which I uploaded for everybody else, bless his heart, he uploaded a single cycle, and YouTube does not loop that correctly. Even QuickTime doesn't loop that correctly. So I had to go into After Effects, and I had to actually loop this thing and then export it and then upload it again. So anyway, just a tip for everyone. Please, when you're doing a cycle, make sure there's at least maybe 5. If it's a short one, like 5 seconds of a cycle is good. So if it's a 1 second cycle, like 5 loops of it is fine. There is a very specific thing going on with this cycle that I want to point out, and this is really actually for everybody. Okay. So there was a bunch of reference taken, and so I want to just show what a fly cycle actually is when you are looking at the anatomy of a flying creature. A lot of people, when they're pretending to do a flying cycle, they go like this. They put their human arms out and they go like this. But that's not what it is. Think about it. The entire body of a bird is actually leaned over. Okay? So just pretend I'm leaned over and my chest is facing the ground and my head is facing forward. Okay? It's actually this. It's actually down. Now, in order to get the perfect wing shape, the elbows are out, okay? And it's the fingers splayed like this. I'll move over to one side so you can see. It's the fingers that are splayed that make that cycle actually have that wave motion. It's, to be quite honest, a lot of it is in the hands. The power comes from those pecs, and that's why we have chicken breasts, because like the pec muscle of a bird is massive, because it has to lift basically all of that. The entire fly cycle is based on getting that wing. It has to lift that whole wing through the air. Okay, so but let's just pay attention to this structure first. This structure is actually very, very rigid. Okay, so this movement right here, okay, actually has very little play in the elbow. It's not really a motion where the elbow is sort of carving like that. It's much stiffer. And so when we look here, where did my Wacom pen go? Here it is. Okay, so when we look here and when we watch specifically the elbow, and this is why sorry, Let me actually show you they work. All right, so I just circled these areas. When we actually look closely at it, here's the issue. The issue is that there's so much bending and play going on in this elbow here. Just click play. And the shoulders, that it seems as though what you're trying to do is actually build shapes rather than get the mechanic of flight into this structure here. And that's not going to work. You have to try to recreate the mechanic of flight and then try to make your poses really read as those quintessential poses, especially the one that's down and forward. And now Prana showed me their reference, and they were following basic bird reference where the wings, and I am actually happy to see that the wings flap forward, because that is actually how they work. They work generally in a figure eight shape that flaps forward. All right, and that's because essentially the shape of a wing, we've all seen this, right? You have the fast moving air and the low pressure, and then the slower moving air, and then the high pressure, which pushes, creates this pocket of low pressure, which lifts the wing up. Actually, there's another force that I'm not sure everybody has heard of, which I thought was very interesting. Fluids actually have this force where when they come off of a surface, and birds' feathers are actually microscopically tuned to maximize this. But if you have a surface and a fluid flows over it, it actually will stick to and eject off of that surface with higher force down, or following that contour. So an interesting thing is that there actually is a bunch of lift, and that's why you'll see the feathers actually curl up, which I thought was pretty cool. Anyway, what were we talking about? I've already lost my train of thought. Anyway, so especially like in a frame like this, when you're looking at a frame like this, there is far too much that you're trying to do to build this like beautiful curve, and the dynamic of flight has been lost. Okay, stiffen this up, make this entire structure, okay, shoulder down to the elbow to the wrist, lock that structure a lot more. Okay, and let the wrist and the fingers do the work for you. If you look at these images and videos of flight, you'll be pretty surprised just how stiff it is. In fact, maybe we can just real quick slow motion eagle flapping. Let's just see if there's a video that we can just see real quick. Ultra slow motion bird. Okay. So this has been, okay, so this is not actually slow motion, real quick. The thing was that was using something called Twixtor, and Twixtor actually blends frames together. Here we go. All right, watch this line. See how from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist stays a straight line. And look how, even when, so we can see right here, this is not facing us, okay? We can see right here, so he has turned his torso. This is still a structure that is staying primarily together. Don't want to look at flappy pigeons here. Let's look at it. Let's try to find another one. Okay, here's a good example. From the side, what we see is really, 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 smooth, dynamic wings. But look at what we're seeing here. Okay. Look how straight that is. Okay, and if you can't tell, let's look right here. The shoulder's right here. The elbow is inside the wing. There's a membrane across here. Okay, the elbow is inside the wing and the wrist is right here. Okay, this whole thing moves very, very, very stiff together. And you can see it in all these. This is actually the perfect angle to see this dynamic. I'm really glad we found this one. Okay, again, here's the wrist, all right? Here's the leading edge of the wing. It's thicker here, and there's a membrane, and that creates the wing shape, okay, where it's broad in the front and skinny in the back, okay? And so here's the leading edge. Inside is the elbow down here, okay? Let me draw it actually on Frankie, okay? So we've got a wing, okay? You got the shoulder, and then the elbow, and then the wrist, and then the fingers like this, okay? All right, so there's tendons and whatnot that make this leading edge pretty wide, but basically, and then you have the body, okay, and the skin, you know, basically goes like this, okay? So again, this structure is what I'm talking about. And so if you can't tell, let me clear this frame, yeah, whatever. If you can't tell, my main problem with this is that you have gone way overboard with trying to make those elbows. And listen, it's fine, it's admirable, you know, to try to like hit poses that look and feel way more, you know, like what we're expecting to see. But it's not how the dynamic of flight works. Okay, that's not how it works. So you're gonna lose people if you try that. Okay, like especially this. Like this really, I mean, I admire it. Oh, I'm on the wrong image again. I admire it, but if you don't hit it, you're gonna lose. You're just gonna drop people off when the dynamic just doesn't feel right. The mechanic is wrong. Okay, so that would be the first thing that I say to work on. The last thing that I would say to work on is this feels like all of the keyframes. Here's the first frame, here's the last frame. It feels like all the keyframes come to a slow in with a tangent like that at the last frame. It seems as though you've done everything from frame like 1 to 24, and that's it. Everything has a key on frame 1 to 24. If you go into my YouTube channel and look for the flying cycle lecture, you will see that the way I do it is I have my keys, yeah, and I'll come up with like a motion like that. But then what I'll do is I'll grab that entire thing and then I'll offset it. And these will still be the keys. Like I'll have keys that are not quite on the right frames. And as long as I set the in and out types perfectly, Maya doesn't care. It doesn't bother Maya that I don't have keys on the actual like start and end frame. If you set your out of range curve types correctly, then you have all of your curves moving into and out of that one little cycle section that you're showing smoothly. Again, this is it feels way too much like everything starts and stops right at the beginning and end of your cycle. Yeah, it's coming to almost a dead halt. So I would work on that. So go search through my YouTube channel and try to find the cycle. There's a couple different cycle lectures. Just search for cycle and you'll see all of them. And I do this trick with all of them that I do. So follow that and you'll be in much better shape. Last thing I would say is you are at a little bit of a disadvantage with this dragon because there's not a flap of skin across here. There's supposed to be. The elbow is meant to be actually tucked inside a little bit of skin. That may be making it a little bit harder for you, but I would still encourage you to go back and recreate the right dynamic and then see what you're left with. Okay. If you would like me to take a look at your shot or demo reel or cycle or whatever, send it to me. Find me on Twitter at KennyRoy. Send me a DM, retweet this, and I'll take a look. This has been a lot of fun. I will see you guys next time. As always, rock on.